I had known from some time in that afternoon that I was dying. I knew absolutely, but I didn't want to die because I was an atheist, and I knew that I was terrified of it because dying means the end of everything. I was a 38-year-old college professor. My work was shown in some museums. You know, I'd won some prizes. You know, I had a wife and 2 kids, and you know, a career. And you know, one of the thoughts that kept going through: how could this happen? I went unconscious. I awoke from that, and I felt wonderful, unlike I'd ever felt in my entire life.
Wait, so you knew you died, and suddenly you felt great?
Well, I didn't know I'd died. I'd been unconscious, and now I feel great, you know?
And where were you?
Standing next to the bed, upright, and the first thing I was like, why do I feel so good? I just felt the worst I'd ever felt in my entire life.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't breathe, and now I'm like Superman. And my eyesight, my hearing, my taste, and then...
So you still don't know you're dead?
No.
And you feel
I haven't figured this out.
alive? You feel
I feel
good?
more alive than I've ever felt in my entire life.
And your senses, you said, are heightened?
Yeah, I mean, this world, ever since this experience, has been kind of a disappointment because this world is sort of dreamlike compared to the reality that I experienced in this. And I heard people calling me in English, kind of nicely, you know, Howard, come here, come here. So I go over to the doorway of the room, and in the hallway is gray. It's very unclear, like a terrible black and white TV picture. And there's men and women standing far away from the light of the doorway. I said, I'm sick, I need to have surgery, I've been waiting all day for a doctor. And they said, we know all about you, hurry, come with us now. We can't wait any longer, come, hurry. And I'm thinking, okay, they've come to take me to the doctor, this is great. The people, as I left the light of the room, going into the hallway, encircled me and kind of started leading me in this direction. As we journeyed, and there's no sense of time in any of this, so when I make time references, it's only for the purposes of trying to make a rational, sequential story out of this. As we went, it got darker and darker, and they came in closer and closer, and more of them were around me. And now, as I asked them questions like, where are we going, how much further, things like that, they started to become more rude and say things to me like, shut up, don't ask questions, you'll find out. You don't need to know. Keep moving, move it, you know, like that. And I'm like, getting pretty intimidated. That becomes fear, that becomes terror. Now this is over a journey of miles and miles and miles. And eventually, it's so dark, I'm aware I can't see anything anymore. It's pitch black. And I figure I'm done. You know, I've had it. And so I said, I'm not going any further. And they said, oh yes, you are. You've got further to go. And I said, I'm not going. And so they started to tug at me and push at me. What they were doing was just playing with me, toying with me. And at first it was pushing, kicking, pulling, hitting, and then that became biting and tearing with their fingernails and hands. And they were taking pieces of me. And there was a lot of laughter, a lot of very foul language. And then they became more invasive. There has never been a horror movie or a book that can begin to describe their cruelty, because their cruelty was purely sadistic. I know that they got nothing out of it. It was simply something to do. And I'm very aware that they were so empty, so without compassion or feeling for me, that it was just amusement for me to scream and yell and fight back. The physical pain was pain from head to foot, just solid, horrible, acute pain on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 total. Didn't begin to match what I felt on the inside was, having been taken down to nothing. I mean, the worst things that you could possibly imagine had happened to me and more. And in that place, I heard a voice which I identify as my voice, except that it did not come out of my throat, off my lips. But I do feel, it's strange, but I feel like it came out of my chest. This voice said, pray to God. And I thought, I don't believe in God. I don't pray. The voice said, pray to God. And I thought, I don't even know how to pray. I couldn't pray if I wanted to pray. The voice said, pray to God. And I thought, when I was a boy and had gone to Sunday school, we had been taught prayers. What were those prayers? So I'm searching for anything that I remembered as a child. Our Father who art in heaven. I remember like these phrases out of prayers. And I start to mutter this stuff, and the people around me absolutely can't bear it. And so in language that has never been heard in this world, obscene, filthy, vulgar language, they're saying to me, the content of which is, there is no God, nobody can hear you, and now you are going to really be hurt. You think what you've experienced so far is something, wait until we've got for you now. Now, this made me want to pray more, because for the first time I was able to hit back at them. The prayers were like clobbering them. Well, they left me alone. So now I have eternity, time without measure, to think about my situation. And I thought about my life. And as I considered my life, which would take me days to talk over what I thought about, but I'd sum it up with, as a son to my mother and father, I had failed them. I had not been a good husband to my wife, and you can use your imagination to figure out what that means. But that's true, that's all true. I had not been the father to my kids that I should have been, and I knew I hadn't because I was busy. I was trying to be somebody, like the football games and the band concerts and the choral concerts and the theater performances. That could all wait, because I was busy being important. I was doing stuff, making myself into somebody. And I hated my life, and I realized that I belonged with these people in this place. The only problem was I didn't want to be with those people, because I knew that the only way to survive in this world, if you don't want to be a victim anymore, you've got to be meaner, crueler than they are. You've got to be the victimizer and not the victim. This memory comes of myself as a little boy sitting in a Sunday school classroom singing, Jesus Loves Me. And I thought, why would he care about me? Even if he is, why would he care? He must hate me. I'm so sorry. And I thought, enough of this. I'm done. I don't have anything else. Jesus, please save me. And when I said that, I saw light, tiny little speck of light, and it very rapidly got very bright and came over me. And I saw out of the light hands and arms emerge out of this impossibly beautiful white light. Those arms went on me and healed me. They went behind my back, and he picked me up as if it was no effort on his part. He just gently picked me up and held me up against him real tight, up against his chest. So there I am with my arms around him, his arms around me, and I am bawling like a baby. And he starts to rub my back. Like, he wasn't saying there, but it was just like a mom or a dad with a child. And I knew, I don't know how I knew, but I knew that he loved me very much, just the way I was.